My name is Chris. I was a teenage boy living in a big house with my father and stepmother. I often felt very alone, even though the house looked full and perfect to other people outside. My stepmother's name was Katie, my father's new wife. She smiled in front of him, pretending to be kind. The house looked beautiful on the outside, but inside it felt cold, empty, and unfriendly to me. My father was a good man, but blind to the truth because he was deeply in love with Katie. He thought she was perfect, and he could not see the way she truly treated me when alone. Love made him blind. He thought she was perfect. He saw her as a kind and loving woman, and when he was in the room, she was. She had a sweet smile for him. She had a soft voice for him. She was the perfect wife. But when my father was not home, Katie was a different person. Her sweet smile disappeared. Her soft voice became a sharp weapon. To the world, she was an angel. But not to me. To me, she was a monster. And my father was blind to her evil. She said cruel things to me. She told me I was stupid. She told me I was a problem. She hid my school books. Then she told my father I was a bad student. She broke a lamp once. Then she told my father I did it. She was a very good liar. Her goal was simple. She wanted my father all to herself. She did not want me in the picture. I was a reminder of my father's old life, a life before her, and she wanted to erase that life. I was very lonely. I missed my old life. I missed the warmth in our house. I missed love. Now the house was just a big empty space. My father was happy, but I was living in a secret hell. I knew I had to tell him the truth. I was scared, but I had to try. One evening I waited for a good moment. Katie was out with her friends. It was just me and my father. We were sitting in the living room. He was reading a newspaper. I took a deep breath. My heart was beating like a drum. I said, "Dad, I need to talk to you." My voice shook. "It's about Katie." He put down his newspaper. He looked at me. He said, "What about her?" I told him everything. I told him about her cruel words. I told him about the lies. I told him that she was not the person he thought she was. I talked for a long time. I poured out all my sadness and fear. When I finished, I looked at his face. I was hoping for some understanding. I was hoping for some comfort, but I saw only anger. His face was a dark cloud. He did not believe me. Not one word. I felt lost. He said, "I cannot believe you, Chris. Katie is a wonderful woman. She is so good to you." His words cut me deeply. He thought I was jealous. He thought I was a bad boy trying to cause trouble. He stood up. He was very angry. He shouted at me. He said, "You are a liar. You are just like your mother's family, always making trouble." His words hurt me more than any of Katie's words. He was my father. He was supposed to protect me, but he chose her. He chose the wrong side. He chose the liar. My father chose his new wife, and he threw me away like trash. After that night, things became worse. Katie knew I tried to expose her, so her game became more dangerous. The fights between my father and me became more frequent. A house was not a home, it was a war zone. Katie was winning the war. My father was completely on her side. He saw me as the problem. One night, after a very big fight, my father came to my room. He did not look angry anymore. He just looked tired. He had a brochure in his hand, a brochure for a boarding school. A boarding school is a school where students live. It was far away in a different part of the country. It was a very strict school. It was known for difficult boys. He looked at me with cold, empty eyes. He said, "I cannot have this fighting in my house anymore. Katie is my wife. I need to have peace in my marriage." He gave me the brochure. He said, "You are going to this school. It will teach you some discipline." I could not believe it. He was sending me away. I felt abandoned. He was sending his own son away to make his new wife happy. There were no more words to say. I just packed my bag. A week later, he drove me to that school. He did not say much in the car. When we arrived, he just said, "Be good." He did not hug me. He did not say he loved me. He just drove away. My heart broke again. The boarding school was a hard place. The rooms were small and cold. The teachers were very strict. I was lonely and sad for a long time. I felt like my life was over. But then I met Mr. Evans. He was my English teacher. He was a kind man with a warm heart. Mr. Evans saw that I was a sad boy. He started to talk to me. He gave me books to read. He encouraged me to write. He saw potential in me. He became my mentor, my friend. With his help, I started to change. I stopped being a sad victim. I started to focus on my future. I worked hard in my classes. I made a few good friends. I found my own strength. The boarding school was a prison, but it also made me a man, an independent man. Many years passed. I finished boarding school. I went to college. I built my own life. I created my own path. A life without my father. A life without Katie. I did not talk to my father for a long time. The pain was still there. Then one day he came to see me. I was living in a small apartment in the city. He knocked on my door and I was shocked to see him standing there looking older. His hair was gray, his eyes were tired and sad, and he stood alone asking inside. I opened the door and let him sit with me quietly in my small living room. The silence was heavy until he finally spoke and said he had made a big mistake. He told me that after I left, Katie became worse and started controlling every part of life. She took all his money, treated him cruelly, and finally he saw the truth I once saw. He divorced her and lost much of his money, but at last he felt truly free. With tears in his eyes, he said, "I am sorry, Chris. I was such a fool. I was a bad father. I did not believe you. I even sent you away. Can you forgive me?" he asked while looking at me, the son he had once abandoned. I no longer felt anger. Instead, I felt sadness for all the lost years between us. Our bond was broken, but he was still my father, and part of me still cared. He asked for a second chance. I took a deep breath and quietly said, "It's okay." "It's in the past," I added. It was not full forgiveness, but it was a beginning. It was the first step on a long road to healing and finding family again. Hope was small, but it was alive, and we were walking that road side by side.